U.S. helicopters confirmed shot down.
Civil wars, pirates.
Look at me, sure. I'm the captain.
Western navies are hunting down Somali pirates in the Indian Ocean.
And the looming threat of Africa's most advanced terrorist group have shattered this nation.
Somalia, one of the most dangerous places in the world.
Over time, I have learned that sometimes the places we deem to be extremely dangerous often have...
Somali pirates are not just criminals, they are the result of a country that slowly lost control over its own land and sea. To understand how this all began, you have to go back to the early 1990s, when Somalia collapsed into civil war.
There was a bomb that killed 20 people. March 14th, there was a hotel siege, 14 people killed.
Pretty scary city. We've had to hire 8 gunmen to protect us from the warlords, the local militias.
I've been visiting Mogadishu for 21 years now, fairly regularly. And it's sad to say that... So what have you been given here? Some sugar, in below, sorghum. And how long will that feed your family? We're right on the front line here, bullets cracking all around us, and there's a man here quietly praying. We are just maybe a few meters from the front lines, our positions ahead of us. The African Union.
The central government fell apart, and with it disappeared the Coast Guard, the Navy, and any real law enforcement. Overnight, Somalia became a place where no one was truly in charge. And when there is no authority, someone else always steps in. The ocean, which should have been protected, became completely exposed. Foreign fishing vessels from different parts of the world started entering Somali waters illegally. They used massive industrial equipment, catching huge amounts of fish in a short time. Local fishermen, who depended on these waters for survival, suddenly found themselves with empty nets. Their income vanished. Their food source disappeared. And no one was there to stop it. But it didn't end there. There were also reports that some companies began dumping toxic waste near Somalia's coastline. With no government oversight, no navy, and no international accountability, the waters were being exploited without consequence. For local communities, this wasn't just unfair, it was devastating. So at first, some Somali fishermen decided to fight back. They took small boats and basic weapons, going out into the sea not as pirates, but as self-declared coast guards. Their goal was simple: stop illegal fishing vessels and demand fines. In their eyes, they were protecting their waters. But something changed. They realized that capturing ships could bring in money. Not small money, but life-changing money. What started as protection slowly turned into opportunity. An opportunity turned into business. By the early 2000s, piracy had evolved into a full system. Organized groups formed. They had leaders, financiers, negotiators, and armed teams. Some people stayed on land, arranging deals and handling ransom negotiations, while others, went out to sea to carry out attacks. The targets also changed. Instead of just fishing boats, pirates began targeting massive cargo ships passing through the nearby Gulf of Aden, one of the busiest shipping routes in the world. These ships carried oil, goods, and cargo worth millions. And pirates understood something very important. These ships were not built for war. They were slow, heavy, and often had very small crews. That made them vulnerable. The attacks became more advanced. Pirates started using high-speed skiffs launched from larger, mother ships that allowed them to operate far out at sea. They carried automatic weapons and ladders to climb onto ships. Within minutes, they could turn a normal journey into a hostage situation. Once a ship was captured, the real game began. Ransom. Companies would negotiate for weeks or even months to get their crew and vessel back. Payments could reach millions of dollars. And that money didn't just go to the pirates at sea, it spread through entire networks on land. In some coastal areas of Somalia, piracy became one of the biggest sources of income. New houses were built. Expensive cars appeared. Entire communities started depending on this system. But with growth came attention. The world could not ignore it anymore. International naval forces began patrolling the region. Warships from multiple countries were deployed. Surveillance increased. Security measures on cargo ships improved. Crews were trained, defenses were installed, and response systems became faster. One of the most famous incidents that exposed the seriousness of this threat was the Maersk, Alabama hijacking, where pirates took control of a U.S. cargo ship, leading to a dramatic rescue operation. After years of pressure, piracy started to decline.
In this group are people who've come just within the last few weeks, and they're talking about heavy fighting in rural areas outside Mogadishu between Somali government forces and the militants of Al-Shabaab.
But it never completely disappeared. Because the root problem was never fully solved. Poverty. Lack of government control. Limited opportunities. As long as these conditions exist, the possibility of piracy remains. Today, Somali piracy is not as dominant as it once was, but the threat still exists in the background, waiting for the right conditions to rise again. And that's the reality most people don't see. This isn't just a story about criminals in boats. It's a story about how chaos, survival, and opportunity combined, and created one of the most dangerous threats in modern maritime history.